This is your Commodore, Ted Coles here, with something new. This will be hashtag Toon Saturday, where I get to look at various cartoons that have happened. I am going to start with Beast Wars, or if you were Canadian, Beasties, because heaven forbid we use war in a title up here.
So, and if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, and smash the like button, people. It will help out the channel a lot.
Wait, this doesn't feel right. Beast Wars was such a great show. I'm going to need some help with reviewing this series. Computer, locate an obnoxious, sarcastic, pompous, and outspoken file that also enjoys watching Beast Wars Transformers.
And I'm finally going to watch Star Trek Discovery. What the hell? Where am I?
You're on my set now. We're going to be watching Beast Wars, Season 1, Episode 1.
Beast Wars Part 1.
And I just saved you an hour plus of complete and utter crap. We're starting this episode with a beautiful space shot.
Space, the final frontier.
Suddenly, some sort of wormhole opens and two ships come out, one firing at another. This is our first introduction to the Maximals and the Predacons. And despite being a scientific vessel, the Maximals contain a good amount of firepower and is holding its own against the Predacons.
When we cut to an interior shot, they mentioned something about a warp signature, and it's actually two spaceships blowing each other apart.
The ship was the only one that could lock onto Megatron's warp signature.
Shields are doing a major fade!
Plasma cannons to full power.
Their shields are down! Destroy them!
Are you sure we're not watching a Star Trek episode?
Yes, for sure. Because we even see them launching their crew into space.
Launch all pods. Get them into safe orbit.
Star Trek wouldn't do that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait.
I'm sure that's how they'll bring in future crew members. Crew members.
So, it looks like the Predacons might actually get the upper hand, but because of Megatron's overconfidence, he ends up getting blown out of the sky too, so they both end up crashing on this planet.
Apparently, Megatron's big plan was to find a location of hidden energon located on this golden disc that the Predacons stole.
Never mind that. Tell me there is energon here.
Confirmed.
Yes, the planet has energon.
Too much energon.
But you have them
Specifically say that they were looking for Earth, and just because this planet has a shit ton of energon, it doesn't mean that he succeeded in his mission.
Megatron, you failed!
Megatron doesn't seem to mind that they landed on this planet instead of Earth, but Dinobot still challenges him for command. But since Megatron has loyalty of his crew, except for Dinobot, Scorponok just makes him blast away like Team Rocket.
Isn't that right, Scorponok?
Yeah, but going back to the energon, it would be too damaging for their robot form, so they had to create beast mode.
We will create alternate forms based on the most powerful local creatures.
So, the Predacons use insectoids and reptiles, whereas the Maximals use mammals. And it's interesting, if you look at Scorponok, he must be lightning quick, because in that scene where he blows Dinobot away, he's in front of him, then he's behind him, then he's back in front of him.
I did not notice that.
Dinobot's blown God knows where, and we go to where the Maximals are, and they get mammal forms. Cheetor, being the youngin', thinks he's spot on smooth. But Ratchet, coming out as a rat, thinks he's smooth.
Interesting? Optimus, the word is spot on smooth. Now this is what class is all about.
Have you ever seen a rat? You would not say a rat is very good looking.
I don't know, they look kind of cute to me. I just picked up the new Rat Trap toy. Doesn't he look cute?
also see Rhydox, who is pretty much a rhinoceros form of Spock.
In this 5-man band, he's definitely the strong, smart guy.
And then we finally meet their glorious leader, Optimus Primal. Yes, it's Primal, not Prime, because he's an ape and not a truck.
Oh, that just brings back all the memes about it's a truck, not monkey.
The Maximals decide to stretch their legs. Cheetor's libido gets the best of him, and he goes chasing after 2 other cheetahs.
Every single man in here got a choice to make. And you know what the choice is. Commitment or new pussy.
And then he comes across a giant wasp. And for some reason, without even knowing what the Predacons turned into, knew it was a Predacon.
Hey, what? It's just a big bug. The way those two reacted, that's no natural life form. And if we're talking unnatural life forms, then we gotta be talking about just one thing. Robots in disguise!
Well, he was basing it off the reactions of the other cats, but that was still some coincidental timing there.
And we get one of our first tropes in this series. You have someone riding Rhinox. And this is when the crews of each of them finally meet for the first time. First of many.
We don't have to do this, Megatron. There has been peace between the Maximals and Predacons for centuries. Why start this up again? Peace, perhaps on your side, Maximals.
Cheetor's gun jams.
He should try Energon brand Viagra for any time you can't get your gun up.
And then, but he was the first one to actually fire. So at one point his gun jammed, then he prematurely let his gun go.
Not very Autobot-like. But then again, this is the future. Or is it?
Cheetor fires at Megatron.
And we get a great callback to Tom Jones here. Because Megatron goes, "Ooh, I like you, pussycat."
You mean like this?
Cheater!
Ah, a treacherous, underhanded sneak attack. Oh, I like you, pussycat. Yes.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yes.
And then we have them all go into robot form.
Tarantulas, terrorize!
Rhinox, maximize!
With the Predacons shouting out terrorize and the Maximals shouting out maximize.
This is a pretty good scene, actually, from a standpoint of they're trying to sell the toys. Because it highlights every character's beast mode and every character's robot mode and the core gimmick of them transforming.
And it also shows off their signature weapons.
And it also introduces their names, because I don't think all of them had their names mentioned until this point. At least on the Predacon side.
It's interesting, though. And then you see a little disobedience from Rat Trap.
That's an order, Rat Trap.
Yeah? And you can just kiss my skid plate, fearless leader, because I ain't going out there and getting my pelt punctured.
And again, it's a pretty cool scene because it shows some characterization. It shows that Rat Trap is not 100% confident in his leader. And it shows that this isn't the same Transformers show that we watched as a kid where everybody's super competent most of the time and will always follow the Prime's instructions. You actually have a guy who's a coward, essentially. Though he does kind of grow out of it as the season continues.
I just took away that Rat Trap's a dick in this scene. Interesting. Cheetor and Waspinator during this scene were the ones that were in the robot modes the longest, but everyone was affected by the Energon at the same time.
In fact, I think it was Megatron who was the first one affected, even though he was not the first one to transform.
Which is weird.
So, essentially, because of the Energon finally getting in the way and forcing them back into beast modes, they kind of go their separate ways after a brief battle. where Optimus does get to save Cheetor, including showing off his flight mode. I think the fact that Prime has a jetpack is kind of a callback to the original Transformers show when Optimus Prime borrowed, I think it was Mirage's jetpack, in order to save the day in the end of the first episodes of the original series.
Good to know. And I love this scene right after where he gets to rip Rat Trap a new one for disobeying him.
Hey, what's got your servo so bent?
Let's get one thing straight, Rat Trap. I am commander of this group, and when I give an order, I expect it to be obeyed.
But on the way back to the base, they're ambushed by Dinobot.
You mean Dino what?
Should we blast him?
Well, I think that's just because the way they kind of have his model based more on the toy, and the toy isn't necessarily accurate to how actual velociraptors were.
Yeah, but back then, that's what a velociraptor people thought it looked like, so we can't fault him on that. So we end off the episode with Dinobot challenging Optimus for the leadership of the Maximals.
I wonder how it'll turn out next episode.
Who knows? So, Wow, after watching the first episode, what did you think?
Considering this is a kid's show, I think it did its job fairly well. You know, introduces most of the characters, gives you a brief example of the types of characters we're dealing with, especially for the heroes, not necessarily the villains. I mean, you got Primal being in charge, but not necessarily experienced in the ways of battle. Cheetor, your typical young and impulsive kid. Rat Trap being cynical, sarcastic, kind of a coward and kind of an asshole. And as I said, Rhinox being the strong, smart guy.
It'd be interesting, yeah, because even though we were introduced to the Predacons first, it feels like we learned more about the Maximals in this episode than the Predacons.
We don't know enough about Tarantulas yet, or Pterosaur, and of course, Waspinator.
Oh, man, I love the way Waspinator just talks because it's like he's kind of like Megatron talks in the third person.
I also like how this first episode establishes some facts that will continue on as the series progresses, but change over time. Like how the Energon is plentiful, but it's also hazardous to their robot modes. How the Autobot comms, and even later on we discover the Predacon comms, can't transmit that far due to the Energon interference. And we also learn that beast modes can repair the robot modes, but it does so very slowly. And I also like how they kind of build on G1 science, how the beast modes are organic and they're not just the robotic beast modes of like Generation 1, where you had Laserbeak still being a robotic bird, Ravage being a robotic dog. They also, you know, have this whole transwarp thing, which is instead of just being a space bridge that goes between 2 points in space, it also goes through space and time.
Did they steal their technology from Gallifrey?
Or the Borg?
I hate temporal mechanics.
And the last thing I just want to bring up is I like how the individual Transformers, in addition to having, you know, personalities on their own, they all have built-in computers that they get to talk to. So it's like they have their own best friend on board.
That is true. So anything you want to add up before I send you off to watch Star Trek Discovery?
Well, just to tie this into something me and Caddy are doing, I have to say that David Kaye, the guy that voices Megatron, also happens to voice a character known as Shishomaru in a show called Inuyasha and its sequel series, Yashahime. Caddy is making me review Yashahime with her. So if that video isn't up yet, by the time this video goes live, go check it out.
Link will be in the description.
All right, go ahead and beam me back so I can finally start watching Star Trek Discovery.
If you wish, but you'll be sorry.
Thank you again, Vile Mike, for popping in. And if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the Vile Mike channel. Links in the description. As for now, I'm heading off to do some other reviews. So, for your Commodore Tycoons, live long and prosper. Hailing frequencies closed.
Thank you for watching the video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, watch one of my other videos, and if you can show your support by donating to my PayPal.
So, for Commodore Ty, live long and prosper all, and for now, until next time, the hailing frequencies are closed.